We have topic number 3 now, and that is Samuel Jackson talking about these idiot directors who keep slamming comic book films. So yeah.
I'm not going to call you idiot just in case you want to hang around.
I'm going to call you idiot. I don't give a
I'm going to say you need to curb your words. So again, this comes to us from Variety. And Samuel Jackson says, it's easy for directors to slam Marvel movies when people aren't seeing their films. Touche! So, when asked on The View this week about filmmakers slamming superhero movies, directors such as big-time directors Martin Scorsese, Francis Ford Coppola, and more have criticised Marvel movies. Ridley Scott, we mentioned before as well.
Horrible.
And even recently one who, I will slam you for this one, but...
Soderbergh?
Not Soderbergh's one of them, but the director of Moonfall.
Oh, that idiot. Emmerich.
Like, I love Godzilla, but the films you make are, you can't stand
and the fact that he's a hypocrite because he then went and got how much money to make one of these films? The one that just...
Moonfall. Ridiculous amount.
Yeah, 140. Yeah, right. Thank you.
But Marvel Cinematic Universe stalwart Samuel Jackson said it's easy for directors to do so only because people aren't going to see their movies. Jackson has been a fixture of the MCU for almost 15 years.
Wow. Shit.
God, that's gone way too quick. As character
because
Nick...
it's 2008.
The first Iron Man. As character Nick Fury, a character he's next bringing to television on the Disney Plus series Secret Invasion. Oh, no, that's a drop. Movies are movies, as Samuel said about directors criticising Marvel films. Those are the movies that I went to see when I was a kid. And the artistry of making a movie is something that was a mystery for so long. Making movies is no longer a mystery. Kids know how to do it on their phones, so it's easy for directors to dismiss it, only because people aren't going to see their movie. It's like we've been dumbed down, but that's always been the case, Jackson added. When we were younger, people went to see cowboy movies, and they went to see superhero movies of another ilk. They also had superhero movies of superheroes on television. When you told a serious story, you find a niche audience. Same thing still happens. People go to the movies to make themselves feel better and to get out of their daily existence. So Jackson concluded that people go into the big dark room to have a good time. It's a shared good time. You laugh together and scream together. I still do movies that I would have gone to see when I was a kid. Yeah, definitely. Speaking to the Times last month, Jackson argued that superhero movies deserves a better shot at the Oscars. Not only that, but he encouraged the Academy to have an Oscar for the most popular movie, which they've just done.
Because I'm not for that.
Yeah, because that's what the business is about. All movies are valid, Jackson added. So go to the cinema to be moved dearly. Some like superheroes. If somebody has more butts on seats, it just means your audience is not as broad. There are people who have had successful careers, but nobody can recite one line of their parts. I'm the guy who says shit that's on a t-shirt. Jackson currently stars in the Apple TV Plus drama The Last Days of Plotney Gray, which is now streaming.
Wow, he's in the Apple... Before we go into this topic, let's just reflect a minute on that guy's career.
Yeah.
Like, if you remember correctly, his first part in a movie was Coming to America.
Yes, with the shotgun.
That wasn't, what was that, 1988?
And he was in his 40s then, I want to say. I think he was early 40s when he did that. Because it was him and Freeman. They were like, at the time, Freeman was doing off-Broadway theatre up into his 40s until obviously he got Driving for Miss Daisy, which was his very first role. Yeah. And then Jackson obviously got Coming to America. But those two, in a way, kind of came up around the same time. And Jackson, I think, was a little bit later. But they both were putting in the work for a long time. They've earned their place, and they've earned a place. And the body of work that Jackson has done over the last 30, 40 years. It's got to be 30 years now.
Over 30 years.
Over 30 years. I mean, it's. I don't think there's one person that doesn't hear Samuel Jackson swear, not seeing his face, and not know that's Samuel Jackson. You know?
Well, they always, a lot of films nod their hat to him now with that motherfucker line, isn't it? Because motherfucker. Even the Marvel film, motherfucking.
Yeah.
Listen, it's. But anyway. Yeah. I just want to. Well done. What you said there is what we've been saying all along anyway. Yeah. No one's watching your dry ass movies, you directors who are moaning about Marvel movies in particular. No one's watching your dry movies and so you have to complain. Because think about it, if they were making money hand over fist, as the Marvel people are doing, they wouldn't have cause to complain.
No.
They would just be like, yeah, it's all good, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
But because they're not making that kind of money no more, they have to now, do you know what I mean? Which is, here's the thing, that is gonna not make endear people to their movies more.
No.
In fact, if anything, it will make people shy away from their movies.
Yeah, because the thing is, you want to get, like, talking about that broad audience that you mentioned, you want to bring in that audience. You want to get the audience you haven't tapped into yet. And if you're attacking them indirectly by saying that these films are garbage, then you're saying to the audience, well, our films are not made for you.
Yeah, you're idiots if you're going to go watch garbage, basically.
Yeah, you're not saying it straight, but like indirectly, you're kind of saying that. Like, that's what can be inferred.
Of course.
So it's,
you know what I mean? Listen, and you hit the nail on the head there. You want a broad... See, this is... You want a broad section of people to come and watch your movies. Because this is what Marvel have been able to do very well.
Yeah.
It's not just comic book heads like myself that have been going to watch this. He's not a comic book head, although he loves these kind of films, but he's not a comic book head. He goes to watch these.
I was a cartoon head, but not the comic book. I didn't know.
Right.
So, yeah.
But Endgame doesn't make the money that it made by just comic book heads going to watch their movies.
Like Leon says, like, your grandma will go because your grandma knows what Spider-Man's about.
It's an event.
It's an event movie.
Do you know what I mean?
And it's a shared, like he's put it, it's a shared experience.
Yeah.
And,
when I went, sorry to cut you, but when I watched Endgame, because remember I was in LA when I watched Endgame in the cinema in LA, it showed me what an event that was. Because I wasn't even going to go opening night.
No.
Because I didn't think I'd get a ticket. And then I just got fed up with everyone talking about they're going to go watch it. So I thought, let me just go to Universal Studios City Walk, the cinema there, and that's the one that was nearest to me anyway. And if there's a spare ticket, I don't even care if it's right in front of the screen, I'm going to go watch it. And I managed to get a decent seat, actually, which surprised me. And I was talking to the guy next to me and the guy next to him while this film was going on about what was happening in the film. Like, especially when Captain America picked up Mjolnir. That wasn't... I didn't know these guys from Adam. Do you know what I mean? But we shared... We had a common experience. We shared an experience together, an event together, and that's what these films are, especially the Avengers films, the Spider-Man film we've just watched. You know that, and this is what these guys need to understand. You can't. If you're not making good movies, people are not going to go watch it. No matter what genre it's in. Do you know what I mean? So you have to acknowledge that they are good movies. Forget about the superhero genre and all. They are good movies. Otherwise, they won't be watched. People ain't got money to throw away like that.
No.
Do you know what I mean?
Not at all.
So, what are your thoughts on it, bro?
I mean, to your point on Endgame, like, I went to see that. So when Endgame came out, I didn't think I'd manage to see it on opening night. And lucky enough, Joby got tickets for me to go and see it. So big shout out to Joby. Hopefully fighting Joshua soon. So Joe Joyce. But yeah, so Joby got me tickets. And when we got to the cinema, he was late. So to be fair, we were both late. But we got there, and it's him and his brother.
Why am I not surprised?
No, don't ask. So we get in, and it's the first time I've gone into a film. I've been late for a movie in my life probably 3 times in my entire life, because I love this cinema. Like, as an actor, I love it. But it's the first time I've gone in at the 3 times I've been late, and I felt uncomfortable because we were walking past everyone as Hawkeye is watching his family disappear, and I could just feel it was palpable the tension. People saying, "Would you sit down so I can carry on watching this film, please?" Because people wanted to watch the damn film because they were trying to connect the dots for the actual narrative. They wanted to see what was going on with the plot. Because, as we've spoken about before, Marvel do spend time with these films. It's not just popcorn to that degree. They make sure the plot is not just derivative. It's decent enough for you to follow along and try to find out what's going on and be hooked by that and engaged with it. Like, I'm not, no offense, Scorsese, I love your movies, but I saw The Irishman at the Prince Charles Theatre in Leicester Square, and unlike
next to Spotlight Studio.
And unlike sitting for the 3 hours of Endgame, when I got up from watching The Irishman, my arse hurt.
Yeah, you felt those hours.
Yeah, I felt like I sat down for 3 hours.
That film didn't need to be 3 hours.
You could have cut that. You could have cut that film by 45 minutes.
Right.
Whereas Endgame, the pace of it to have that energy for 3 hours, like, that is that is a testament to the direction of the movie. That is a testament to the script of the movie and the performances, because you were hooked on it didn't drag.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think there's one bit of Endgame that dragged.
No.
Yet, for all of its promise that The Irishman had, the cast, you had Joe Pesci, you got De Niro in there, you got Pacino in there, you've got up and coming actors like we talked about before. Stephen Graham's in there. Like, and that's probably one of the best scenes of the film. But like, you've got that kind of caliber of actor in the film. You've got that caliber of director. You've got what they did with the making them younger experience with the CGI and whatnot. And the film, just for all of its promising aspects and its decent aspects, I left underwhelmed. Yeah. And this was supposed to be Scorsese's big Oscar contender, you know? Yeah. And it wasn't. I left. I thought like it was decent enough, but it wasn't something like.
It wasn't back to his old days.
It
like
wasn't Casino. It
wasn't
Casino.
Goodfellas.
It wasn't Goodfellas.
It wasn't that. Or even Departed.
Or even Departed.
It wasn't even
recently. It wasn't even that. So, and the thing is, Departed could have been 3 hours. I probably would have sat and watched that for 3 hours.
Yeah. Because there was a lot going on in that. Yeah.
But to Samuel Jackson's point, because I've kind of gone off a bit of a tangent, but to Samuel Jackson's point, like, these films are made for audiences to go and watch, you know, and to have a shared experience. And you get that. Like, when we saw Spider-Man, every single person, I don't care what you say, Louis Chilton, whatever his name was, every single person in that cinema had a general reaction to the movie. The moment you saw Garfield come through, the moment you saw Maguire come through the portals, there was a collected experience we shared where we all got engrossed in it.
Exactly. And you know, we're talking to adults here in the 30s and 40s. We had kids behind us. Yeah. We acted the same way.
And there were old people behind them. Right next to us as well. Yeah. In their 60s, 70s.
That's what I'm saying. Right. Do you know what I mean? Like, so...
Yeah. So I don't get why you're doing it. The thing is, I understand if studios then become a little bit arrogant to you guys when you approach them with your projects, and then they start to kind of turn to the side a little bit and say, we're not going to greenlight it. From that argument, I can get it.
But that's not happening. But it's not happening, because like I said in the previous topic, there's more original films being made now than at any time in Hollywood's history. Yeah. There is. Yeah. So that shows me that films are getting films with not recognizable IP, which is a risk to the studio, are being greenlit more than ever. So there's plenty of money being pumped into these things. Yeah. But it's what the problem is that these big dinosaur directors who have been around for a long time and expect, like, for instance, Scorsese asking for 200 million for The Irishman, which no studio wanted to give him, and hence he had to get it off Netflix, because they know you don't make a return on your money on your films to justify that sort of budget. Do you see what I'm saying? So if you're going to them and asking for 200 million, of course they're going to say no. I would say no. Do you know what I mean? If you're a Marvel film and you're asking me for 200 million, I'd have to say yes.
I don't think Scorsese's made over 500 million.
I don't even think he's made over 400 million
in the last 10 years.
Do you know what I mean? I remember we were talking about The Departed. That didn't even make 400 million. No, it just cracked 300.
And look at the cast has got in.
Right.
So that just says to you, like, when you go and you're asking them like for 2/3 of what your biggest movie made to a degree, it's like
they're not going to make a return on that. You have to make double. Some people say triple, but I think double's more accurate. You'd have to make double what the production budget is to break even.
Which is why Guy Ritchie, who just spoke about, gets to make the films he does.
Right, exactly. Sometimes it is triple because some films have really strong marketing. Yeah. So then it becomes very expensive. Yeah. But between double and triple a film to break even, right? So before you even make profit, you have to make a hell of a lot of money. Now, if Scorsese's going asking for 200 million, or this idiot who did Moonfall, Emmerich, who he ended up costing him 140 something million, and that's bombed. So the studio's now looking at him thinking, don't come to us with asking for that kind of money no more.
And the thing, what annoys me with that is as well, it's like, he's never, when you look at all of these films, I love Independence Day. But I think mainly because of Will Smith in that movie and because Jeff Goldblum.
Jeff Goldblum. Yeah, I love Jeff Goldblum.
And I do I've got a soft spot for the original Godzilla. I know it's bad when you look back at it now, but
is that the one Jamiroquai did the song for?
Yeah.
I've got a soft spot. That's a guilty pleasure.
It's a guilty pleasure.
Yeah.
But because I saw that when I was really young and I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I like that song.
Came down for it.
Yeah,
that was a great film.
Yeah.
Great song. Sorry. But no, when it comes to the films he's made, he doesn't make anything new. It's always disaster movie. And like narratively, you can't take it anywhere different. And like from what I've heard about Moonfall, like the script ain't that damn good. No matter who you got in it, or it's Halle Berry or everyone else is in the damn film, it's not going to save it. And if you can't make anything different, and you're going to go and slam comic book films that actually have decent narratives and decent performances and are well crafted and are well directed and are well shot and are well choreographed and have the great costumes. I mean, they've got past nominations for certain different elements of the film. Name me an Emmerich film that had a nomination in the last 10 years. Apart from a Razzie, which it has. And it's no offense, but I can't say nothing. I've never directed a movie, Emmerich. I've acted in them, I've never directed one, so like, you've done very, very well. I won't take that away from you.
Yeah, but it's the moaning that I can't stand. When you start moaning about Marvel movies and this and that and they're this and they're that and you're just being negative.
It just screams at you.
You see, this is the thing, because you talk about not being a director and trying not to shit on him, but then he's happy to shit on other directors. Yeah, because that's basically what you're doing. Do you know what I mean?
And it just seems like a poor excuse to, like, rather than say, right, I made a bad film, I hold my hands up. It's like, no, I didn't make a bad film. It's their fault.
Right. So again, it puts the blame onto the audience, because like, well, these lot don't know what good movies are. Do you know,
they do, because they didn't like your movie.
They didn't like your movie, mate. You know what I mean? And that's across the board. So listen, I applaud Samuel Jackson for what he said. There's a lot, and I think just to finish off on something, I think when you see the caliber of actors who are now going into comic book films, because we mentioned Samuel Jackson, Robert Redford, you know what I mean?
Captain America,
you know what I mean? Sylvester Stallone,
Helen
Mirren,
Kate Blanchett,
right?
You've got Russell Crowe and Christian Bale this time.
You know what I mean? Like it just shows you that these people see the merit of these films. Even Jared Leto, I'd even say, they see the merit of these films, so that you can't be telling me that these films are just popcorn and they this and they that.
Kenneth Branagh directed one,
right?
This
the
is
first four,
Captain Shakespeare, as far as I'm concerned,
right?
Directed one. You got Andy Hopkins is in there as well.
It's
only a matter of time for me that until they get the right character, Denzel is going to repeat. I just think at some point.
Well, they've got another Oscar winner who begged to be in a movie. Mahershala Ali.
Yep.
He came to Kevin Feige and asked to be in a movie. Yeah. This is what I'm saying. So you've got actors of that kind of ilk wanting to be in these movies. You can't then tell me that these movies are this and that and being negative about them, because these actors recognise the merit of these movies.
And don't get me wrong, we've talked about certain comic book movies which are made are not very good, and you guys know what they are. I haven't got to mention them again. But there are certain, big-eared, blue cape, red cape, blue uniform films that don't do as well when they're not directing the right way. They're rushed.
Yeah, but that's with any genre.
Yeah.
Any genre.
But like the Batman just proved, if you get a good director on the movie and you get a good cast and good writing, you can make something that is worth going to the cinema to see, which the Batman definitely was, and we can testament to that.
Yeah, 100%. So our review for that is coming real soon.
Yeah.
Yeah, by the way.
So, Samuel Jackson, echo your thoughts. It's made up a little bit for the comments you made about Get Out, which I'm forgiving you for.
I lost a lot of respect for you for that, mate, but...
Yeah, but anyway. This is made up for it a little bit. A little bit. Not fully, but it's made up. It's gone some way to making up for that comment.
Yeah, anyway.
Daniel Kaluuya, stand with you, bro. But
yeah.
So,
what do you guys think, man, about what Samuel Jackson had to say about... checking these fools who are bashing Marvel movies.
I've had these motherfucking directors more about motherfucking comic book movies.
What do you think about what he said? Are you happy with it? Do you think he should have gone further? Or you're not happy with it? Leave some comments down below and let us know what you think.